Hello everyone, welcome to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. Just finishing setting up here. I don't know if you saw on the title, but we're going to be testing some products today. Every few weeks, we have opportunity to test products, and sometimes it might be a reformulation or an update to a current product, or it could be something that has never been introduced to the car care industry whatsoever. And we have both today. One product that I don't think exists on the market, and three other ones that are updates to our current products that we have. And generally, when we're updating our products, it's not so much to be like, let's water them down. Well, Adams Polishes does not do that, okay? Adams Polishes is like, maybe B&B Blending is trying to work with a new supplier, and they're like, oh, we found this cool new raw that's actually gonna make, some of your best products even better. And so that's kind of like where we're at today. So, and usually, I don't know about today. I should have asked our chemist, but usually they'll give us like the current formula that we've been using, and then they'll give us the updated one, and then we'll test them sight unseen. We don't know what's what, and then we're like, we like A better, and they're like, okay, well, it's the same one that you have. And it's like no changes necessary, so oftentimes we're testing up against what everyone's getting at home or what we're using here at Adams Polishes. So some cool stuff in here. I do want to show you something. Check this out. I know that a lot of you have seen online that we have bucket kits in Costco. $50 kits, 12-piece, comes with a bucket. I think it's 5 or 6 products, a drying towel, a microfiber wash mitt, block applicator. What else is in there? Air freshener. It comes with a bucket and it has a lid on it. So when you mix it all together, it's 12 buckets. But we also have a bucket kit. I'm pretty sure this one's in Walmart. And so if you see right here, this is the process of how they're building all the bucket kits. So this one I think is a 8-piece bucket kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 chemistries, 7 formulas plus the bucket. And you can see on the right side up there on the pallets, all the red is all the bucket lids. On the left is all the black buckets with the stickers on it. And then in all these crates is the chemistries or the formulas. So they essentially have them like all lined up. Put the buckets on a cart, put them inside, put them in, package it up, and then this thing right here is the thing they push down and it locks the lid on top. And then they build it onto the pallets, and then you can see why our detail bay and wash bay is not being used very often, because then they stack all the buckets out here and get ready for shipment to wherever they're going. So if you're at your local brick and mortar stores, Walmart, AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, Costco, got Adams Polishes in all those. And one of the cool things I will say, like if you look at this, it's the stuff you can get there is like the stuff we use the most, right? It's not like graphene ceramic coating. It's not polishing. It's like all the stuff that everybody uses on like a weekly or even bi-weekly basis. And so, car shampoo is something we use a lot. And I think part of it for us, and you guys know this, Anton especially, being in the Philippines, is, it's hard for us to compete with processing times when it comes to orders. Like you can't compete with Amazon. Their network is too big. It's like you're a Prime member, you can get it either overnight or in 2 days, and at the store, you can get it whenever you want, and so for us, oftentimes on the line, as much as it can be frustrating, it's like we're limited to the workforce we have and the resources we have. So to offset that, where you're in a bind, you need car shampoo or you need wheel and tire cleaner, whatever, you can now get that at pretty much any major retailer. So, yeah,
Colorado Tel says my wife picked up one of those buckets last weekend.
Oh, cool. But yeah, and just so you guys know, if you order on our website versus if you get it at any of the retailers, same formula. We haven't changed a single thing. And I think for us, it was, I don't know, I would almost say roughly 10 years ago. I'm sure a lot of you guys, once I say this, you'll be like, yeah, that's true. But the market in car care like shifted. It kind of went from like everyday stuff that people are using consistently to then like premium car care, where you're like, oh, this is a better system. This is more more quality product. It's like when craft beer hit the market. It was like, you could only get Coors and Coors Light and Budweiser and Bud Light, Miller Lite, whatever. And then it was like craft beer hit the scene. It was like, oh, this California IPA is amazing or whatever, And it's like, now when you go to liquor store, it's like the smaller section is actually the domestic beer. And then the bigger section is all the selection of craft beer. And it's like, that's kind of happening right now for car care. It went from, mass produced crazy stuff, and not to put any of those places down because they are absolute powerhouses. But, a lot of these retailers came to us and they're like, we see a shift in the market. Like, would you be interested in coming through our network and selling through us, because there's a demand for it? And so, I think for Adams Polishes, it would be kind of dumb of us to be like, no, we're good. We don't want to make it available to everybody anytime. It's like, we didn't necessarily want to be like, I think it's easy to stand firm. You're like, we only sell online, but the experience of waiting, processing for shipping time, and then the time it takes FedEx to get it to your house, you're looking for some places it's like 5 to 7 days, because we're shipping out of Colorado. So if you're in California, Arizona, you're close to us, it's 2 days. But if you're on the East Coast, it's 5 to 7 days. So it's like, if we can like utilize their resources and get it everywhere, then it makes it easy for all of our customers to have a good experience. So
David Boyce says, Weekend Warrior supplies in the bucket. Great to have at car shows.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good, Weekend Warrior is a good way to describe what you were talking about, where it's all the products that you use a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
Often.
Yeah, Weekend Warrior. What a great term, It's like, I'm going to attack my car and clean it,
Rambo says, hey Joe, I just got a Deionizer. At what level do I need to change the resin? I'm assuming he means at what level on the TDS meter.
Yeah. Who is that again? Rambo?
Rambo 3582.
Rambo 3582. Rambo, I would say, I tend to, once it kind of hits like 50 to 75, in between those, or at 50, or like, I wouldn't let it get past 75, but like once it gets there is like the trigger of when you reorder it. It doesn't mean you need to replace it right at then, but like I would say as you get to like 75 to 100 is when you start seeing some of the spots. But like, this is Ken. Okay, yeah, Ken. Sorry, Ken. But I would say that like, I don't want people to like freak out. Like once you have the Deionizer, it's super convenient because you can rinse your car. You don't even have to drive, or you don't have to dry it. I still recommend doing that because using detail spray still to dry is going to still make it look more shiny. But like if you're in a pinch, you can rinse it off. Granted, it's at the right level of parts per million or total dissolved solids. But like, if it gets to kind of 50, 75, 100, and you might start seeing spots show up, now what you have to do is revert back to the fundamentals of washing your car, which is like drying in the shade, or rinsing in the shade first, rinsing in the sun last. You kind of have to go back to the fundamentals of that. And I'll be 100% honest, like I could take a Deionizer from here any day of the week, whenever I want, and I do not own one at my house. Because I am so used to going through that process, because up until roughly, I don't know, when did we come out with the Deinizers? Like
3 or 4 years
I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago.
I think it was
like
2021.
Yeah, like we didn't have access to them. So like, Adam taught me from the beginning when I first started working here of like the process of the process is almost more important than like the products you're using, meaning like you start rinsing in the shade first, blah, 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 right? And so I still do that to this day. So like I still don't have a Deionizer at my house. But, once your Deionizer hits to 50 to 75, it's like, okay, I'm going to jump online and start reordering the refill. Once it gets to like 75 to 100, I would say like revert back to the fundamentals of washing properly while your stuff gets shipped to you, you know? So
Rodney says, I see small spots, anything over 20. My house PPM is about 500.
okay, well, that's a lot.
It's really hard water.
Yeah, Rodney. You know, I think the EPA limit for ppm in water for safe drinking water is 500. If it's 500 or above, like it's that the EPA is saying it's not safe to drink. So I remember, I don't know if
use a Brita pitcher, Rodney.
yeah, he's just there in his sink, like filling up his butt. Brita pitcher, fill up your bucket. Brita pitcher, fill up your bucket. It's like take Rodney like 30 minutes to fill up his bucket. But I remember I was in Anaheim. We were filming the 1975 280Z Datsun like barn find video. If you guys haven't seen that on YouTube, definitely go check it out. It's kind of a fun video. Like I took a different approach away from like super technical and try to make it feel like you're there hanging out with us with some information. But we did a little segment on the Deionizer. Like Anthony tested it without the Deionizer on, and it was like 496, and he's like, yeah, it's about 4 ppm away from you can't drink it. And Adam was like, what? Like he couldn't believe it. And then we engaged it and he did it, and I think it dropped down to like 3 or something like that. And it was like, sometimes that can be pretty shocking to see that data from like, you know, the water we take for granted coming out of the faucet. You're like, geez, that has a lot. I remember I knew when my water heater was going to go out, because when I test my hot water, it was like 800. Ooh. And it was like, this thing is about to blow. And sure enough, like a month later, rusted out of the bottom, and I replaced it, and now it's much better. But
C. Thomas says he always has one unopened and then orders a new one when he gets to 75.
See,
so he can it out whenever
yeah,
he wants to.
So Chester is pretty smart about that. Like and maybe for Ken, this is like good advice. I don't really, again, like I don't have one, so I don't think about stuff like this. But like what Chester's doing is like he has the Deionizer, and then he has a replacement resin on reserve. So then probably what he does is when he needs to switch it, he puts the new resin in, he replaces it, and then right when he does that, he orders the next one, and now he has another one on reserve. So that's almost like my wash pad thing. I always have 2 wash pads on reserve, but that is a good.
To do with groceries.
Yeah.
It's just a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good. Chester, you're a pretty smart guy, you know that. But
you can also mention Dan just dropped the link to the barn find video in the comments.
Okay, yeah. If you haven't checked out the barn find thing, go check that out. A couple other things before I start jumping. I'll put sprayers on while I talk, but we do have our 26th anniversary running right now. The design's really cool, but we're also going to be launching some more stuff the rest of this month. So like keep an eye out for that. Okay, another limited edition, and also even some new products, which we're pretty excited about. So yeah, we have that going on here at Adams Polishes. What else, Chris? I already mentioned Costco. Not that I have like a list, but I'm just kind of going through my head, just happenings at Adams Polishes. You know, I like to.
I think Costco's the biggest, most recent brick and mortar.
It's kind of cool. Like we've gotten some cool response. I know, like personally, I've had like family members and friends like text me. It's like, "Oh, you're in Costco now," and it's like, yeah. And I think I might have said this last week, but it's somewhat for Adams Polish is like a full circle kind of thing. I think I did mention this last week, but you know, like Adam used to buy supplies from Costco before Adams Polishes even existed, when he was doing detailing. And so he's always mentioned to me, like, there's times in his business career and like his life where he's like, you feel like you made it, you know. It's like if you're a celebrity, it's like if your face is on a billboard kind of thing. I think Adam Patali himself is like, you know, you see it at Costco and you're like, wow, it's like it's gotten to a point that he could never even imagined, you know. So
Anton says, Chris, have you seen Colton in the area. So, Anton,
Oh.
I have not seen Colton today personally, but he's been around this week.
I saw Colton Anton. He was walking from the 7-Eleven back up here. He's probably getting a snack or something, but he's here. But I know they have a ton. They have a ton going on, and I guess that's another happening thing is that B&B blending has started to expand as far as their like production capabilities, and so I'm sure you guys have seen it before. I've done like a tour on the live, but all the way in the back of the warehouse, we had an area called production where they were like hand filling our products. And so they're actually moving all of that over to B&B blending. So like if you look right behind Chris, there's like a pallet rack graveyard right here. But they're essentially gonna re-lay out the whole warehouse. And like this pallet racking is being taken out of production because they don't need it because it's all moving over. So Colton runs the whole warehouse, so like he's in charge of all of that. So if he's hard to get if he's hard to get a hold of Anton, that's probably why. I've also talked to Colton, but because this has become like an operations graveyard, I guess you could call it. You can see all the empty totes and everything. We're not necessarily proud of how dirty it looks, but it's like our reality right now because we have so much going on. But back here is another graveyard, which is crates, more totes, more pallet racking, barbecue, some tables that are jacked up. But I talked to Colton. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to leave this open all the time, and this might become the new wash bay. So we might build this out as like a new wash bay, so we have like our own space to do live videos, more regular videos. But pretty excited about that. But I'm trying to figure out, like, on this side we did like a whole painting for an event we did like a long time ago with Be a Good Person brand. And so it's always been like a cool backdrop. The other side is just white. And I'm like, what could we paint on that side that would look cool, you know? Anyways, enough of me talking. Nobody wants to see that. Anyway, let's jump in, okay? So today what we're testing is an update to our wheel cleaner, not wheel and tire cleaner, but the wheel cleaner that turns purple when you use it. So I have sample B, okay, and I also have sample A. And I'm pretty sure what they do is one of these is the current formula that if you ordered it today, you would get it, and the other one is the update. And so we're going to test them against each other. We also have. Oh, sorry.
It's a blind comparison, right?
Blind comparison. I literally have no idea.
And just while I'm here next to your mic, both Rodney and Ken Wilson said, "Good to have you on the live, Chris." Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, Chris is back.
Teddy's been taking the camera a lot so that he gets more familiar with the products and the lines since he's a little newer. But I'm back this week at least.
And funny enough, Teddy is like. He's like you guys. He's like a clean. He like wants to clean his car all the time. So
yeah,
he's even like, I want to learn this stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
We also have detail spray, and we also have a total interior cleaner, TIC. You know what's funny is the detail spray. They almost look like different colors already. One's like a peach pink, and one's like a more robust pink. If I was gonna guess, I'd say this would be our current formula. I don't know. And then we also have one that doesn't exist yet, and one of the chemists, her name's Beth over at B&B Blending, she came up with this idea, and it's called liquid clay bar soap.
Chester said, did Teddy break anything this week?
No, but he did like 2-3 weeks ago. He broke his elbow. He had broken his wrist the third day he was working here. He's a skateboarder, like a vert ramp skateboarder, not like a street skateboarder. Broke his wrist the third day he worked here, and then like 3 weeks ago, broke his elbow. So he showed me a picture. He had surgery. He has like staples from like here all the way to here. It's gnarly. And he said he has a cadaver bone in his body, so he feels kind of weird. But
so we've got a zombie shooting our.
I mean, listen, with those staples, it definitely looks like a zombie. Yeah. There you go, Frankenstein. That's what I was looking for. I have a bunch of like towels and stuff. Oh, I'll just put this in the crate. Here's another graveyard. Stuff that was sent back that we're like testing to make sure if it works or not.
Purely if they left it out here, it's probably not working.
Probably not. I don't need this stuff. Here we go. Okay.
Getting ready for wheel cleaning. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Chris is going to show you these wheels. And this is Hamza's car. He's the new graphic designer. He's the one who is creating a lot of these limited edition labels that you guys are seeing and a lot of the emails you're seeing, all kinds of stuff. But Hamza has this Volkswagen GTI, and he doesn't drive slow, to say the least. Okay, he drives very fast. He actually tracks his car. You guys have seen this car before. But actually chose his car specifically for this product testing because for wheel cleaner, his car is perfect. His car, like once we spray the product on, it will for sure turn purple. So it's gonna give me a good gauge on like the product testing of, you know, does one turn more purple than another versus A versus B kind of thing. And that's probably like the most, the number one thing I'm looking for is, you know, I guess theoretically in my mind is like, if it turns, you know, vibrant purple, it means it's working because the main ingredient inside the regular wheel cleaner is called thioglycolate, which when thioglycolate touches metal, the natural reaction that you would see is it turns purple. And so, you know, that's really what I'm looking for when it comes to this. And so his car is actually like perfect for this. His car also is not in that bad of condition. And so I think detail spray will be a good test on this because we can test it on the glass and the paint to see if really what I'm looking for on that is like streakiness. But there's also other things I'm looking for with detail spray of like, can you use it with a clay bar? How slick is it after you're done using it? And then he has kids. And so total interior cleaner is like ideal because his car isn't exactly like, I mean, he actually keeps it really clean, but for total interior cleaner, I want to make sure it works on the touchscreen he has in his car. I want to make sure it cleans the leather. I also want to make sure that it's going to work on the inside of the glass because I love using total interior cleaner on the inside glass. So this car is actually perfect for these 3 different products. And I don't know the last time he clayed it. So I'm going to feel the surface once I get it clean. But if it's a little bumpy, then, which I'm pretty sure it is, but the liquid clay soap is going to be like perfect for this. So this car kind of needs like, it doesn't need crazy processes. It doesn't need, I mean, it does need polishing. You can see swirl marks in it, but there's only a couple like really deep scratches. But like all around this car is like, it's a really good test subject because it kind of needs like basic stuff, I guess, you know, it's like, it needs like a mild cleaning. Total interior cleaner is that. It needs wheel cleaning with thioglycolate because that's metallic brake dust. Wheel cleaner, and then any car needs detail spray, and then liquid clay soap, same thing. So,
is the liquid clay soap basically just a super lubricated soap?
Liquid clay soap, I have no idea. It was like handed to me, and it was like, this is a cool idea we came up with. It's like soap. Can't use it out of a foam cannon because I'm pretty sure it has like, I'm not certain, but I'm speculating that it kind of has the same mild abrasive that like Brilliant Glaze would have in it, which would be like silt. If you guys are on your phones and your computers, just if you don't know what it is, look up what silt is. It's essentially like super, super fine-grained sand, like really fine-grained sand. And so, you know, for any clay, you need something that's abrasive that's going to take off paint overspray, tree sap, road tar, things like that. And so if that has like a little mild abrasive in it, it might do that. But probably why they paired it with a soap is because it does have lubrication. So like the abrasive will glide will allow like the wash mitt to glide, but then the abrasive will help remove the other stuff. So I don't necessarily know the exact structure of it, meaning like I don't have access to like a safety data sheet that says the ingredients that are in there, but I just got kind of a brief, like this was a cool idea, so like we want you to try it, you know, so.
And we'll see if it works.
Yeah. So I think, I know I'm in like the direct sunlight, but for any of you guys that don't live in Colorado, it's about, well, I'll check. We're using Chris's phone so I can actually look, and I'll show you. This is the temperature right now. So it's 44 degrees, and looks like it's gonna get to 50 today by 5. That's weird, a peak time of 5. Maybe that's because of what's it called? Daylight savings time. But you can see the rest of the week's going to be pretty good. It's like 50, 67 tomorrow, 68, which I might call in sick and go golfing. 72 on Saturday, 55 Sunday, 56. And then it's going to be in the 80s next week. So Wednesday next week, 80. So it's a good washing day. So maybe we'll do something outside. And then I just want you guys to see the humidity right now is 34. And I imagine it's at 34 right now because it got like last night, it was weird. It got really windy and it got like really cold. It said it was like 40 degrees, but it felt like 20 something. And generally it will say it feels like that because there's moisture in the air. So like the cold air with the moisture in there, you feel cold. So probably have some moisture, humidity still coming through. But tomorrow I bet the humidity is gonna go down even more. And by the time it's like hot, like in the 80s, the humidity will be like 10%, you know? So, I say that because it's 44 degrees. So like in the direct sunlight, it's nice, actually. I like feel pretty good. But his wheels are not, they're very cool to the touch. And so I'm actually gonna spray the wheel cleaner directly on because that's gonna give me the best gauge of it being super effective. Now, what I will do is I'm gonna do, since we have A and B, and there's 4 wheels on this car, we'll do an A test on the rear wheel, we'll do the B test on the front, and what I wanna do is spray it directly on, let it sit, see its reaction, maybe spray it a couple more times, and then what we'll do is we'll jump to the other side and actually clean the wheels with the brushes and everything, and it will give us a gauge of like, how effective is it with doing nothing? And then like, how effective is it actually going through the wheel cleaning process, if that makes sense. Go ahead.
Chester says, I have brand new wheels. What do I need to coat them with?
You have brand new wheels. What do I need to coat them with? First off, get your tires mounted and balanced before you coat them. Just got to say that straight up, because if you don't, the wheel weights don't stick and then you have more problems.
And they're painted wheels.
And they're painted, yeah. Someone did that. They coated their wheels before the wheel weights went on, and they were driving down the highway and all they heard was clunk, 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 clunk. And his wheel weights came flying off because the adhesive struggled to stick to the wheels. Painted wheels, what I would tell you is the advanced graphene coating. It's you know, for a consumer, it's the most robust ceramic coating that we have. If you have access to the pro coating, I would 100% do that one. Your wheels are the thing that take the most of the beating, and they get the most dirty. You know, they get more dirty because not only do they get dirt and grime and mud, but they also get brake dust. So it's kind of like a double whammy on your wheels. And so the more robust of protection you can put on there, that's what you want to put on. So that was Chester. Mm-hmm. So Chester, you are able to, listen, I wouldn't recommend you buy the pro coating because unless you're a pro, it's like $380 and it's just kind of a lot. That's money better spent on like a new driver for golfing, you know, or a pressure washer. But if you're willing to do it, great. Anton can comment on it. He now has the pro coating, so he has some experience applying it. But you know, if you're not willing to spend the like almost $400, I would just say the graphene coating advanced in the gold label bottle, 60 mil. That's the one you'd want to do.
Apparently, he already ordered Defend.
Oh, okay, Chester, if you already have Defend, put that on your wheels, 100%, and your paint, everything. But for sure, your wheels, you know, because that coating is more concentrated, it's more thick. I know when I did the live a few weeks ago using it, it's like pretty insane. It's really, really good.
He just updated. He hadn't actually bought it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I would double check. But I have.
Dan suggested something that's smart about the testing process is that you swap A and B on the other side of the car, since the driver's wheel usually gets more.
Yeah, that's pretty legit.
I don't know if we have time to do all four,
Dan's
but
so smart, you know. I gotta say that Dan's a pretty smart guy. Okay, here goes sample A. You're gonna notice I always use too much product. That's what everyone tells me. So we'll see. Make sure we get it somewhat in the barrel. Oh, it's
Sean
already
says-
turning purple. Go ahead.
Sean says, how well does Defend handle mud and all that stuff? Been struggling with finding a coating that lasts.
I think Defend works really good. You know, and I will say, like, listen, coatings aren't bulletproof. And I think part of it too is like, you know, if you put a coating on and you're going mudding and you're doing all this stuff, you know, you can expect the life expectancy to go down, because if there's more dirt on your car and you're washing it with more dirt, you're essentially abrading it more, you know. So I would say like Defend is a pretty good option because it has more of the raw ceramic in it. Well, this turned purple like immediately. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think Defend would be a good option. I also think like there's something to think about when it comes to, you know, a ceramic coating on a car that maybe sees a lot of mud and stuff like that. Like a ceramic coating on a car that gets a lot of mud and dirt and grime. You can keep showing them that, but you know, it might be something you need to apply more often. But like when we think in the grand scheme of things, like a ceramic coating being reapplied, you know, every couple years, a year to a couple years, is significantly easier than like reapplying a wax or a sealant every few months. And so, you know, but yeah, I think like Defend would be a pretty good thing. I also be curious, like, who made that comment again? Can't remember. But anyways, Sean Smith. Yeah, I'd be curious too. Like, you know, sometimes a coating looks like it's failed, and I would say like, if you rinse your car off and the top half is like beading water and the bottom half is like really flat, it could be as simple as needing like strip wash or graphene shampoo to like take off any road oil, or even claying it can bring a coating back, because you get like overspray on top, which is not, you know, paint overspray, tree sap, things like that is not hydrophobic. It's going on top of the coating, and you didn't coat over that. So honestly, Sean Smith, I would say like before you worry about like reapplying a coating, we have a video called Listen Up, What is your ceramic coating telling you it needs? And that takes you through the process of like, if you initially rinse it and the water behavior is like this, then you should do this. And then if you do that, then maybe you need to do this, or maybe you need to do that. It takes you kind of through like indicators that then give you guidance of like what you should do.
Sean says it was on a mud bogging quad, so it was trying to make cleaning it easier.
Mud bogging quad. You know, the weird thing about those like the mud bogging quad is like sometimes the dirt is so thin that like when you initially rinse it, it doesn't come off. I've seen that before. And depending on like where you're at, if you're in a place where people are going through it a lot, you might get there might be oil from other quads or other side-by-sides that is mixing in with the water, maybe, I don't know. And then it gets on yours. Now you have like mud, silt, and oil, and then it's really hard to get off.
Your dad and David Boyce both asked why you didn't rinse the wheels first, and you just directly spoke to them.
I didn't rinse it because I want to see like how effective the product is by just going straight on. But what you'll notice is,
so like in a normal process, you would pressure wash the wheels first.
Yeah, and
for the testing purposes.
What I will do is when I do the wheel cleaning process on the other side, I will rinse them, because right now I just want to see how these products, these test products, are reacting specifically like with the brake dust that's on here. And the one thing I noticed so far is this one turned like purple immediately. I'm trying to get this to like run off so you can see it on the ground. It's kind of hard to see. But the purple on this one like activated immediately. This one's still very purple, but it like didn't react immediately. And I'm not necessarily worried about that. I don't think like within an instant, if they touch each other, it turns purple. I just want to make sure they turn purple whatsoever, because that tells me what the raw material is inside of it, right? The other thing is like specifically for wheel cleaner, one thing I'm noticing is sample B has a strong sulfur smell, which is the thioglycolate. It smells like rotten eggs. Versus sample A didn't have as much of a sulfur smell. So like for us, that's kind of important because we want the experience of using the product to be good. We don't want it to smell like you guys know what while you're using it, because then it sucks, especially like get it on your hand and you smell like it. Like we don't want that. I'd rather it smell better. And right now I don't even have a great sense of smell, but like sample B smelled more significant of that sulfur smell. So I'm gonna rinse sample A off. I'm actually gonna move this stuff because it will get wheel cleaner all over it. Okay, here we go. Let's just rinse this off. I'll answer that in 1 second. You see all this purple, Chris?
Yeah. Running out on the table.
Yeah, so that's sample A. Pretty solid purple performance there. Okay. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty wild. Now I'm gonna rinse off sample B. So really what I'm looking for is like the purple clearly is showing up, right? And I'm kind of looking at that. I have two things in mind right now. One is how it smells and how the purple's reacting. So let's rinse this one off. This is like darker purple. You see that, Chris?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. So like as far as like just spraying it on, letting it sit and then rinsing it off. Now what I'm gonna look at is like how much brake dust is left on this. Now the one thing with Hamza is he never cleans his wheels. So like he has brake dust like caked on, adhered to his wheels. So like it would take multiple rounds of cleaning his wheels to like remove that, because these are black painted wheels, and you know it would take multiple rounds to get that stuff off. But what I'm gonna look for is like how much is caked on here versus how much is caked on back here.
And John brought up a good point that Dan also mentioned earlier, that usually the front wheels have more brake dust from the start.
The front wheels definitely usually have more brake dust on them, and the reason why is because 90% of the time when you're driving fast, well, you never drive fast going in reverse. Well, I don't know about anybody else watching, but you know, you get more brake dust because you're driving forward and braking. You still get brake from over here, but it's more of a, you know, you're having more force with the brake up front, so you get more brake dust coming off of that one. the funny thing is even
and the weight of the car is in the front. Right?
Yeah, the weight of the car. But the funny thing to me is like sample B, spraying it on and rinsing it off, that wheel actually looks a little bit better than the wheel on the back. So like maybe we can say that sample B was more effective by just to spray it on and rinse it off. Okay, so but it's tough to say because they're both wheels are extremely dirty. So
Dan mentioned also that brake systems are biased more to the front brakes, so they
Yeah.
apply more force to the front brakes.
And by the way, the brakes on the front are more big. So like there's more surface area, so it means more brake dust is coming off of the car, right? Okay, that's good for now. So we got to remember A in the back, B in the front. We're just going to work left to right. So if we're standing on this side, left is A, right is B. When we go on this side, the front now is on the left. So that's going to be A, and then the back is going to be B, which is swapped. So here's A, here's B. So now what we'll do is we'll actually go through the wheel cleaning process. And I think, you know, especially when you only have 2 products to test, it's easy to do it on each side, right? So especially like wheel cleaning, it's like we have an A and a B. We essentially have 2 A and B tests that we can do on each side of the car. And so let me get the pressure washer. Hey, Sergio.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Whoops. Start with A. Okay.
Concerned about the fact that you do the wheels differently on this side, it's not quite testing the same thing.
Say that again. Explain it better.
If you use a different process on this side, you're not necessarily just testing the swap of the 2 products. You're also
Like you're saying it's not apples to apples. Yeah. I think like.
But also, it's a live video intended to educate people. So.
Yeah, but like the variables are different across the whole car. So like, I don't know when Hamza had his tires rotated. So this could have been in the back for the last 6 months, right? So like, there's too many variables to like consider. And I think when it comes to car care, that's the thing. But like, what we have to be thinking about is like, is it solving the problem? So like this has metallic brake dust. The metallic brake dust has started adhering to his wheels because he never cleans them, right? And so what I want to see is like, if I scrub it, like right now in my head, sample B smells worse, but sample B also turned way darker purple and reacted immediately. Sample A still turned purple, wasn't as dark. It didn't react immediately. It took roughly 5 seconds before it to do. So like, they're so close already. Like, I'm not too worried about it. But right now, we were just saying like the front wheel generally is more dirty than the rear wheel. And I sprayed it on and then rinsed it off, and the front wheel to me looks better than the back wheel. So that says to me already, sample B is more effective. Maybe, I don't know. But now I want to go through the actual process and do it. And then as we clean them, I think like what I would probably do is like, I would do it the same. Sample A goes on the back, sample B goes on the front. But like Anton and Dan were saying, like, you kind of want to test one on each one. And probably what I will do is like, I might even go back and clean his wheels with the tools still. But I just did that initially to just get like a, let's just see what happens kind of thing, you know? So we're gonna clean this wheel. And I'll say this, I will say this, like there's a lot of variables when it comes to testing car care products. Now, this test is more of a real world test. It's like, let's think about it. I always reference golf because I'm so deep into that industry, but like, I'll explain it to you like this. In golf, if they test golf balls or they test golf clubs, they can hook it up to a robot that does the same thing every time. But you can't control the elements. So what's the density of the air? What's the temperature? Is there wind? Right? Like, so like you can, the one variable that's the same is like the robot's arm swinging on the same path and the club is the same every time. Or you can do like what a page on Instagram called My Golf Spy, which is also a really good like golf blog, mygolfspy.com, is they don't test with robots. They give it to different handicaps of golfers. So there's actual real people swinging it. And they base all their test results off of real human things.
It's like we're not only testing it on this car, we're going to test it on many different cars to see how it performs.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm fine with testing it in different ways because like the ultimate goal here for like real world testing is like get the wheels clean. So like if they want to test do the robot test, they have a lab at B&B Blending that they can do that, right? And a lot of the apparatus they have there is for like ceramic coating and longevity testing and things like that. But for us, it's just more of like, like I said, the experience of using it. I'm also going to look again, but like, I want to look at when I spray it on, the wheel cleaner generally is a gel formula. So I want to spray it on, I want it to stick there. Does that make sense? So I'm going to be looking at that again. But now I think the interesting thing to think about is like, I've rinsed off like the top layer of loose brake dust now. And we're going to dilute the product because there's now water on here. So now what we can do is see effectiveness. And this is A again. So again, while I'm spraying this, I'm going to be trying to smell it. You guys can't on the live. But I want to smell because I want my experience with using wheel cleaner to be good. I don't want it to smell bad. And again, like I said, if I get it on my hands, I don't want my hands to smell. And I will say this, like professional detailers, oftentimes the wheel cleaners they're using, they're like high in thioglycolate, but they don't try to mask the smell. And so when you watch professional detailing videos, oftentimes they're wearing latex gloves because they don't want the chemical smell to get on their clothes or on their hands. At Ounce Polishes, we're like, no, we want it to smell good. And like, if it gets on your hands, it doesn't matter. You can wash your hands and you're good. But like the smell, it doesn't smell that bad. I don't know about you, Chris. It's going to smell bad because there's thioglycolate in it, but it's not like in my face, like smells terrible. And you can see again, like the purple started to activate after a few seconds, but it wasn't like immediate. And you can see the gel formula is like sticking. It's like barely running off. Like this one right here is barely running off. It's kind of sticking up here. It's barely running off. That's a good thing. And the gel is also has some lubrication to it. And so the lubrication is also something that I want to feel as my brushes go and rub against it. Like, is it gliding? Because I want the chemistry to do the heavy lifting. I don't want to have to scrub and scrub and scrub and scrub. Like, I'd rather have the wheel cleaner do all the work for me. So I'm going to start with, this is a wheel woolly. This is like the thing we used to sell before we had the angled wheel brush. I just had it in the bucket. And so I'm going to clean the barrels of the wheels. And behind the spoke here. Dude, Holmes's wheels are bad. They're like real bad. This is a good car to test on because it's pretty extreme. Like, not a lot of cars have this dirty of wheels. I'm actually gonna switch to the little mini to get behind the caliper here. I'll try to get into the hat.
303 Legends said, Joe, did you or any of the guys get any of the birthday cakes?
Birthday cakes. I bet that's Aaron. I didn't get the birthday cake. I bet the crew in the warehouse got some of it though. I was actually out on Friday last week because my wife got a flat tire. So I was actually dealing with that, and then I worked from home.
Oh yeah, he said he sent 26th anniversary cakes.
That's Aaron. Dude, Aaron, thank you for doing that. It was so cool that you did that. And we love that you like to celebrate with us because it's really cool. We're very appreciative of it, you know? Oh, man. This is...
When he said birthday cakes, I was like, how did he know my birthday was on Friday?
Yeah, guys, it was Chris's birthday on Friday. Everyone say happy birthday to Chris.
I'm 700.
And tell him how amazing he is.
Don't lie.
You're amazing, Chris. Chris doesn't believe it yet, but he's amazing.
I'm fine. Just kidding.
Chris, this live couldn't happen without you. Only when Teddy's not here.
I was going to say, it's been happening without me.
Okay, there we go. Quick little cleaning. I didn't do the tires because I'm not worried about tires right now. Let's rinse it off. One other thing I'm kind of looking at is like, how does it rinse off? You know, sometimes they'll put like added surfactants, which is just a fancy word for soap in there. And it's like, as you're rinsing it off, it keeps producing suds and keeps producing suds. And it's like, I want it to rinse off clean like quickly because that makes my process more efficient. So that one was pretty good, if I'm being honest. So smell for me was good. You know, the rinse off was pretty good. I want to let it dry before I start assessing like how effective it is, because sometimes the water that sits on there can actually mask like how clean or dirty the wheels still are.
And thanks everybody for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Ken Wilson says, "Who's older, you or Joe?"
You know what?
Leave that to everyone's imagination.
You know what, Ken? We're not going to talk about that, all right? I'll just outright say I'm older than Chris, all right?
Yeah, he's 23 and I'm 21.
There's a reason why I wear these big glasses so you can't see all the wrinkles I have.
I have more gray hair than you.
I'm definitely more immature. I'm kind of a teenager at heart. Okay.
I think all adults are still just mentally kind of kids to some extent. Everybody's...
Imagine being a teenager and like, my dad will appreciate this, but like, imagine still being a teenager and like, not having a job, not having to pay for anything, and you just get to go to sports and do nothing, and like, all you have to do is homework. It'd be so amazing.
I know. It's when I was a kid, adults would be like, "This is the best time of your life. Enjoy it." Yeah. And I was always like, "I want to be independent. I want to live on my own." And now I'm like, "I want to pay rent."
You know what's funny is I like being an adult. I'm pretty busy in my life, but
I definitely like being an adult too. I'm not wishing I was a teenager again because there definitely were less fun parts. But.
You know, I'm busy in my personal life, but like, I love my kids more than anything, and they're amazing. My sons love sports. My daughter just started soccer yesterday. It's like, we have so much going on, but you kind of live through their happiness, you know? This one's like not turning as purple.
That comment is how we know you're a good dad.
So like, again, this is an interesting thing to think about. Like, we're not testing it on the same wheel because we can't, right? I mean, we can, but like, how clean the wheel is going to vary if we keep cleaning the same wheel. So like, this is the fourth one we've done, and like, this wheel might not be as dirty as the other ones. We have no idea, but it's now starting to turn a little bit more purple. But like, this B sample on the front one was like immediate. It was like hit so hard with purple, and now back here it's not as much. So it could either be the formula. It could either be the how dirty the wheel is, but
Or
I don't know.
the fact that it's front back.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say dirty, because the backs are always less dirty. So it's kind of interesting to think about because
That's because becoming an adult was the dumbest thing I ever did.
yeah, Chester, you're right.
Ken Wilson says he's got us both beat by many years. So I guess if Joe's 23 and I'm 21, Ken's 25.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna clean this wheel now. Come in. I'm not like overly worried about like doing the same process, even though I'm doing it, but the idea here is to like, I'm just going through my normal process of like how I would clean wheels. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely turned purple. I mean, it's like...
It'll be 62 next month, so I'm pretty sure he meant to type that as 26.
Yep. Ken, you had your numbers wrong.
Come on, Ken. Proofread your comments.
Yeah. It was fun hanging out with Ken in California when we did the... I don't know if I told you this, Chris, but when I was doing the Dotson thing in California, we like went live, and Ken Wilson was like, I'm 45 minutes away, I'll be there. And then like, we're like, okay, we hope we see him. And then sure enough, he showed up and he hung out with us for like a few hours and just...
Oh, that's crazy. You didn't tell me that.
We didn't put it... I don't think we put him to work. I hope we didn't, because he had like a bum, somewhat of a bum shoulder. I hope that's getting better, by the way. Which is kind of cool. It was, honestly, it was one of those things where like customers would come in and I would start helping them. And then I would be like, you want to see what we're doing? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And then we like bring them out into the back room and show them what we're working on and the work we're doing. And they were like, oh, they would hang out for 20, 30 minutes. And it was just like, it felt like you went to your buddy's shop and he's working on detailing or like working on a classic car. And you're just like kind of hanging out there shooting the stuff. And, you know, it was just like a really fun time. And I'm glad that Ken was able to come and hang out with Adam, hang out with Anthony, hang out with me.
Ken says, doing rehab on my arm right now, probably going to go back to work in the bathroom.
Oh, good. It's good. Well, I don't know. We're talking about still being teenagers, so that might not be good, but, you know, glad Ken can get back to normal life. You know, I know he's been going through it, so. Okay. Chris, did you notice the smell at all on this version?
Barely at all.
Barely at all?
Dry yet?
Yeah,
How'd you do?
not good. It's kind of hard to say because it's like this stuff is so caked on here. Like, see how I'm still pulling up black? It's because it's like baked on here because he drives his car so gnarly. Interesting. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Should we check the other side?
Yeah, let's go look at the other side. Here's the thing too. I want you guys to understand is like, you know, it's kind of like one of these things where if they're trying to update a product and it's like, maybe they're so comparable, like they're almost identical, right? They're so comparable that like, is it even worth us making the change? Because then that requires like to change the label. It requires to like rebottle. Not we would sell through the other stuff, but like it just is gonna create more touch points to like get it for it to do the same thing. So it's like
There has to be a significant difference.
yeah, it'd be a very significant difference. And I'll be honest, like for a long time, wheel cleaner and rubber cleaner was like the system to clean your wheels. And when they brought us wheel and tire cleaner, it was like that was a significant difference that you could clean your tires and your wheels at the same time. And like subsequently, wheel and tire cleaner is extremely effective. And so it's like this makes the process more efficient because like you're only grabbing one product, you know? And so like in this case, I'm not trying to nitpick too much. It's like, if it's providing the same experience, you know, maybe the smell is a little bit different. That's one of the few things I noticed. And maybe like
You can really tell how much of a difference the brush makes on these, because these, you know, this side didn't brush at all versus the other side.
Yeah. Well, and this side's in the sun, so it's like exposing more of it.
Anton and Chester would love to see the detail spray difference.
Okay. Maybe we can do that next. Oh, Chris's phone is at 7%, so we have to hurry. Okay, guess what? In our testing process for wheel cleaner, I would say it's hard for me to tell a difference. So it might not necessarily mean we should switch them. So, what's up, Tyler?
How are things looking?
The same.
The same?
Yeah, the wheel cleaner is like it's rough. It's like really close to being the same. So, you know, if we're
Over here?
Yeah.
I didn't rinse it first. I sprayed it on directly, and then I rinsed it off.
So dry.
Yeah.
No rinse.
And no brushes used on.
And the only thing I would say is like we did sample A and then sample B. Sample B, to me, it smelled a little bit more like that sulfur smell.
Yeah.
But the purple turned like immediately.
Ooh.
Over here, the purple activated after like 5 seconds. So like, and the purple wasn't like, this was a little bit darker, but
And
you could chalk that up to this wheel being more dirty.
What are we testing it for? Like,
For-
is it
An update to wheel
an
cleaner?
update? Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be like a different raw material.
It could be a different raw material. It could be, I mean, realistically, that's probably,
Yeah.
they're not going to change the carrier agent,
Yeah.
which is probably water.
Yeah. There's not much of a difference as far as cleanliness.
No, but also Hamza's wheels are really bad.
Yeah.
And I think part of why I chose his car was because like I knew it would turn purple, so that's the first thing I wanted to see is like
Yeah.
if they did do an update and they took the thioglycolate out of it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't turn purple at all.
Right.
You know. Now we're gonna test a detail spray test on. I'm gonna try it on the window first.
Hot glass.
It's not hot, but like
That's got to be hot.
it's warm.
Yeah, it's pretty toasty.
But I want to do it in the direct sunlight because I will let it dry and see if it will wipe off. But you can see a color difference.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that camera-able difference? This is like more of a orangey pink. Interesting.
A, ready? So I think I might do is like, I'm gonna spray it on, wipe it off immediately as if I was using detail spray. Then what I'm gonna do is spray it on, let it dry completely, and then see if it wipes off.
Nice.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
See it steaming off.
Chris, can I get you a wireless charger?
Won't fit.
Well, can you just hold it? For the last little...
Ooh,
I've got one, actually.
this feels crazy slick. I kind of like that.
Joe, tell them we're doing a little swapperoo. Sorry for the...
The camera might get shaky for a second. We're gonna add a wireless charger, so Tyler wants me to be live all day, so.
Yeah. Joe's going until midnight. Sorry.
So we had to take it off the gimbal, so it's going to get shakier, and I'm sorry, but that's the alternative to the stream ending.
I think that's all right.
Okay, what do we think? Not bad.
It's not my favorite.
Well,
Do you see it over here, the film?
yeah.
Film?
Yeah. We didn't hit the front yet.
No. Should I try to wipe it again or leave it?
Maybe leave it.
Okay.
Because
Well-
like that'll probably buff out with a dry towel.
Yep. So there's like a little bit of a film on there, which, again, with an update, could be an update to the raw material inside detail spray.
Down to the color, to the fragrance, to the who knows.
Yeah. Let's do sample B over here. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Ken Wilson says, turning live into an Adams party now that Tyler showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally just about to say, I got to get back to work. Party's over.
Did you come down here just to hang out, or
I just saw you out here and I wanted to see what we were doing. That's more streaky.
is it?
Yeah, just from seeing you wiping it over here.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So that was B or A?
This was B.
So sample B is more streaky. Huh. Interesting. Is there a scent difference?
So we should remove detail spray from our line completely.
Yeah, right. Whoever does that or makes that decision is gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Only company that smells chemicals where we can go around sniffing the bottles.
I can't smell it.
I don't understand how you do not have a sniffer after working here for 17,000 years.
I know exactly why. When I was younger, I would plug my nose when I would sneeze, and it's like, yeah, like because I like have a natural dad sneeze. Like I'm like, whoa!
No, we know.
Yeah, I
We
know you
work
know
with
now because I don't plug my nose anymore.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
when you sneeze and I'm listening to your mic, I
Chris
about
jumps.
go deaf.
Chris jumps.
But I've seen like if you did that when you were a kid, it like essentially over time can like
Kill your
ruin. Yeah.
Wow,
That
that's
doesn't
wild.
sound. That
So
sounds fake.
it has to be like really strong, but like I can smell stuff
That's
sometimes.
crazy. They smell the same to me though, just in case you were.
Okay. I mean, they're different color. I said that this one was probably our OG if they did that. I don't know if they did.
I don't know.
So
That looks like the right color for our
Yeah.
OG,
yeah.
but it's streaky for sure.
Should I go on the other side and do the next thing, or
Yeah, because it's not sunny, but I don't know if we'll see streaky as much.
I'd rather just do it on this.
Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard
Just-
to see on camera if it's not sunny.
One spray on there,
Dude, it's almost gone.
one spray on there.
Okay, so it's gone.
You can see the water coming out of it. The steam. Okay, so I had used this side initially, and then I like flipped it over this side. So I'm actually gonna flip the towel and actually open it and flip it onto itself to use like a completely fresh side. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off.
Your dad says you're in direct sunlight. Would that make a difference? And my feeling would be we want detail spray to be usable in sunlight.
Yep, I want to put it up against the ultimate test is if it dries on the surface, is it going to be streak free? And that is one of the main things that detail spray provides. And that's why we recommend using it as a drying aid specifically, because even if it dries on the surface, you wipe it off and it will work.
That looks potentially worse.
I think theoretically it should be worse.
Yeah. Because you didn't you were just by what's in this exactly?
Silicone.
Silicone. You're basically just wiping the silicone across all this.
Yeah.
Because the water's gone.
Uh-huh. But generally with like our regular detail spray, it will. Feel this. It feels really slick.
Slick.
It's
Well,
very
watch out real quick. I'm curious if it's gonna. Like there's a little bit of streaking, but not as much as this.
so feel it with the towel.
Oh yeah. Feels nice.
What would you mainly be looking for in the detail spray, Tyler?
I think it's like honestly. Like detail spray I go to because you can literally use it whenever, however,
Yeah.
not have to worry about it streaking. Like on black cars, I won't even touch like graphene boost or like graphene detail spray even is like a stretch sometimes. I'll
Especially
only
in
get
sunlight.
detail spray. Yeah. And if you're in sunlight, I usually just straight go to waterless wash because I'm like, I don't even want it to streak.
Yeah.
But I'm like the guy that's like protect it with coating first,
Yeah.
and then just waterless wash it and wash it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to add protection as much in my detail spray part of the, like I just want something that's there for lubricity so that I don't scratch it.
Yeah. Tyler and I had a great discussion one day. I will save it for a different time, but I think Tyler was like, I never thought about it like that.
Which one was it?
When we were talking about ceramic coating maintenance.
Oh yeah, Joe has a genius thought of ceramic coating maintenance. It's actually genius.
No, it's
We're
not.
switching our entire marketing ideas on how we're pitching
No.
how you should do maintenance with coatings just from this one meeting we had.
No.
It was good. No, it was really good.
I like sample A better, if I'm being honest.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
So that's just like one test, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess like in my mind, like sample A feels more slick. So like theoretically in my mind, it would work better with the clay bar anyways because it has more lubrication.
Yeah. Huh. All right, I'll let you guys finish it up.
Okay.
I'm back at it.
Thanks for the power.
Yeah, no problem.
It's hard to say. I don't honestly, like the dye and detail spray is somewhat unstable when it comes to like reacting to like the UV of the sun thing. So like the color of it sometimes can be a little wonky, but like
Yeah, like sometimes
this is like, look at that. I bet you this is the OG. That looks way closer.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yes. Which one did we say?
Interesting. Hey.
Cool. So
Hey, okay, I have to say
this is why we test things.
Yes,
we
I have-
want to know if it's actually better.
I have to say this. I think since I started working at Adams Polishes, every year we've tested detail spray, and every year the original formula,
It's
Wait.
still better.
we've never changed it. We've not changed detail spray since I've worked here. It's the same scent, same color. I know during COVID it changed a little bit. The dye changed because, you know,
Supply
a
chain
lot
issue?
of supply chain issue. A lot of places like shut down for a while, and it was like we need this color of dye, and like we'll take it from anywhere essentially. So that would be like, that's the only time I think that I remember it looking a little different, and we like
But-
mass produced it, so it kind of like, it was like a darker, almost like less opaque color, so like you could almost see through it a little bit.
Translucent.
Yeah, and that's the only time it's really changed, and that was like,
And we changed it back afterwards.
yeah, I mean this you saw it. Yeah. Okay, now the only other thing I do want to try is I'm going to use this one. Well,
What?
yeah, I want to try it with clay. But I don't want to spray the same one in the same place. I think maybe on this big C pillar, I guess you could call it, I'll do one, and then on the other C pillar, I'll do the other. Is that okay with you, Chris?
Could do one side of the hood, too.
I was going to do the hood, but it's so dirty that I don't feel comfortable spraying this on and wiping it off without...
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter because I know how to polish, so I can fix Holmes' car. But I don't want to do that right now. So I'm just going to spray this on. Wipe it off. Yeah, this feels like detail spray to me. Like the slickness, that's like one of the main things that I always notice with the detail spray is like, feel that, Chris? It just,
I do not have a free.
oh, you don't have a free hand. It just glides on the surface every time. Let me hit the other side really fast. A little bit different because I'm like working in the shade, so it doesn't wipe off as fast.
Chester had to head out, and Ken says, "Who's the next surprise guest on the line?"
I don't know, who should we have show up?
surgery.
I don't know,
and
Ken
thyroid.
Wilson, you're only like 12 hours away.
Start driving.
You can make it by next Wednesday. Okay. I want to do this really quick. I also have Total Interior Cleaner, but I'm going to save that for a different time because I do want to try the liquid clay soap for you guys. And I don't know if we'd have enough time to do both.
It's 220.
Yeah, it's 220, so. Time for some clay. Let's feel it. You can hear it, so it needs a little bit of clay. It's not as bad as I thought, but spray this on here. Yeah, that's great. That's exactly like what it feels like all time. And because it's warmer on this side, it dries out, so then the clay sticks. But now, we'll wipe this off.
Just because whenever we play, people ask these 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
One, does it scratch?
It's a good question. Just look, now can you hear it? Oh my
Quieter,
God,
for
that
sure.
is
Does it feel
incredible.
smoother? Less, less sandy?
I just want to hug it. That is amazing. Clay never ceases to amaze me. Listen, if you've never clayed your car, clay your whole car and feel it. You will not want to stop feeling it. Your paint clayed, especially with like detail spray, it is the most smooth thing you'll ever feel. Does clay scratch? It depends. Depends on the clay. And so like at Adams Polishes, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different mediums of clay. Okay. I say medium, that's like material of clay. So we have the clay mitt, and I always wave to the helicopters when they come by. But
Dan just said he might have to go because he's under a tornado watch.
Dan, leave. Go to your tornado basement or whatever shelter. Why would you sacrifice your life for the live? I appreciate it, but like, if you need to go, Dan, don't, you should go. Anyways, we have the clay mitt, okay? Which is like, it's essentially like this material on this side, but then they put this clay, synthetic clay material on top. We have a fine grade clay bar, which is like the white colored clay bar. It's called fine grade. If you search it on the website, you'll find it. We also have a medium grade clay bar. We also have a visco clay bar. And then we also have a clay pad that you actually connect to a polisher. And you can like do a clay process by like putting the polisher on setting 1 or 2 and then like spraying detail spray on and like use the machine really quick. You could also use it like a clay mitt if you wanted. You don't have to put it on the machine. The medium grade clay bar is probably going to mar. I'm not going to say scratch. I'll say mar. And the reason why I say mar is because you can almost like see where the clay bar was going. Scratching comes in so many different forms. Like a scratch is like, you know, your zipper hit your car and scratches it. You might get swirl marks from, you know, taking it through the drive-through car wash. So like scratching is a little bit different. Marring is like specifically from the clay. The medium grade clay bar tends to mar a little bit, but that's because it's a little bit more abrasive. And so like a car that has never been clayed or polished or ceramic coated, especially if it's never been clayed, you need something more aggressive to take the bonding contamination off. So a medium grade clay bar is going to do more work. And actually a medium grade clay bar works amazing on glass because it's not going to mar glass because glass is significantly harder surface than clear coat or paint. So whenever I clay glass, before I put like the graphene glass coating on, I use the medium grade clay bar. That's the most aggressive we have. Then you drop down in aggressiveness to the visco clay. And the visco clay is kind of in between a fine grade and a medium grade. So it's like fine medium. And I would say it's more like, it's kind of right in the middle, but maybe a little more fine. The visco clay, I would almost argue, is the most effective. And the reason why it's called visco clay is because it like can stretch. It's like very pliable. Like you can, it's kind of a little bit softer. You can stretch it really far. And because it's a little bit softer, it tends to grab stuff more. And the other piece that makes it effective is it comes with a thing called a geo impression tool. So it's like a stamp for your clay. So like once you've been using your clay if you get a bunch of contamination on the surface, you stretch it and fold it onto itself to incorporate the bonding contamination into it. And then you take the geoimpression tool, press it into the clay, and now you have this like textured pattern that gives it like ridges that will like grab onto stuff better.
It's almost the same pattern as
Yeah,
we have on this.
similar.
It's a similar sort of diamond crosshatch pattern.
Similar. And the visco clay, the geoimpression tool also doubles as like you wrap the clay around it and you can hold on to it. Because traditionally with the clay bar, you like make it the size of your hand and then you rub it like this. But if you maybe miss a spot where you sprayed lubrication like detail spray and it catches, this has happened to me. It catches, my hand slides off and the clay hits the ground. And as soon as it hits the ground, you got to throw it out because the rock's incorporated into it and scratches your car. Versus like paint overspray, tree sap, road tar is somewhat of the same material as the clay, so it doesn't scratch your car when you do that. But if you get rocks in it, it does, okay? So visco clay is essentially between like medium grade clay and a fine grade clay. Now I would say like the actual one called fine grade clays are least aggressive, like the absolute least aggressive. I would say the clay pad that you put onto the polisher would be a step down from the visco clay. The clay mitt would be a step down from the clay pad. And then the fine grade clay is the furthest step down, which goes from the clay mitt. And so like the clay mitt and the fine grade clay are my two maintenance clay. So like visco clay and medium grade clay is like what you do to prep a car for paint correction. You want to get as much bonding contamination off, and generally a car that needs paint correction needs a heavy clay job to it because it's been neglected.
And if it gets a little bit of marring when you're going to polish it anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you get marring, you're polish it away anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what Chris's point was. But clay mitt in a fine grade clay is like if your car has been ceramic coated and you get paint overspray, you feel it's a little bit bumpy, you can use those and it will be just as effective, but it's because there's less bonding contamination on the car and you don't have to be as aggressive to get as much off, right? So there's different like places for them, different situations, I guess you could say. And I would say like for me, the fine grade clay, I will do if I'm using it with detail spray. I'll use the clay mitt with the detail spray, but 99.9% of the time, I'm using this in my wash bucket with car shampoo. I rinse the car off, I foam it, I wash it with a mitt, I rinse that off, I re-foam it, and then I take the clay mitt and I touch the whole surface. It takes me 10, 15 minutes to use the clay mitt. It's just really quick. Versus using the fine grade clay with the detail spray is going to take me more like 30 minutes to 45 minutes because I'm getting more detailed in like very specific areas. And so it's just a little bit different. I also like the fine grade clay sometimes because it's white. So if I use it, same with visco clay, when I use it and I pull it, I can see what goes on it. And there's times where I'm claying a car and I lift it off and it's like pure red because like that's on black paint because like maybe this guy's neighbor painted his, whatever he painted. He could have painted some outdoor furniture, like a home project, and his red paint overspray floated in the air and landed on the car. And then when I was claying it with the fine grade, it was like red on the surface. So I kind of like that because then you can see what's going on, you know? Let's try this really quick. It glides, but it
says nice sounding car in the background.
I know, right?
Not sure or what that is, but it does sound good.
Any low rumble of a exhaust always sounds good. This one did similar, I would say.
Felt pretty much the same.
Yeah. I'd be curious to do it on the other side because this side it's not drying as fast. So like there's more lubrication for longer.
How's it feel?
I mean, anytime you clay your car, it feels amazing. But that side felt, not field. The other side felt a little bit more slick, I would say. Like, that feels like rubbery, and this feels like buttery smooth, even in like the direct sunlight. Here, let me hold this for a second. Like, that feels really good, right?
Yeah.
pretty comparable.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to say which one
So-
is better.
So like Chris just said, it's very comparable. I would say there's not much of a difference, a little bit. So in that case, I would say like sample A that was less streaky on the hot glass wins right now, because I don't want it to be, that's like number one, straight up the
Jagged.
number one thing I don't want it to be is streaky, right?
If the clay performance is similar and one is streakier,
Yeah.
then that's the obvious.
Yeah, and I would say like we could also test it by washing the car and using them as drying aids. But like I already know this one's gonna do better because the streakiness is gonna be less. So like it's not even, to me, I would still do it, but right now it's like this one to me is already won. So like, you know, this is about to 10 run rule the other one. It's like, does it really matter at that point? So that's what I would say. So, okay, sample A wins. I'm almost positive that's the OG formula, and I'm fine with that. So now, let's just quickly, I'm not even gonna like use a bucket.
It's 2:30. We could always do car shampoo and
I think what we'll do is we'll do total interior cleaner really quick next week, but I wanna do the liquid clay soap really fast. And it's just a matter of like, I'm gonna rinse this off, put some, get some car shampoo and like do it on there. I might even grab another microfiber towel and do the liquid clay soap. So heads up, Chris. Just go like that, and then I'm gonna take this off. I'm just gonna get this wet really quick.
Somebody's, or Hamza's hood has clearly got some protection on
Yeah,
it.
I'm pretty sure that's, well, I don't know. We did I think that's, no, I think it's rinse aid if I'm being honest. I'm almost positive it's rinse aid. Okay, I think I put car shampoo in here. Here it is. So I'm just gonna throw some car shampoo on this. Like so. Don't need a lot, and I'm just gonna wash this really fast.
You're talking a lot about 2 bucket washes. This is the 0 bucket wash.
Yeah, this is the, I'm being careless and don't do this at home. Do not attempt this to do that at home, okay? Okay, so we just washed it. I'll just set this over here. Set this over here. We're gonna rinse it off. And then, you know, because I'm using a microfiber wash mitt, I'm just gonna grab another borderless gray that hasn't been used, and then I'll just put I'll get it wet and I'll put the clay soap on there and do it. Okay, so it's like kind of similar. Another thing I'm curious about with this liquid clay soap is like, there's rinse aid on here, so you can see the water behavior is amazing. What I'm curious is if that liquid clay soap would actually alter that hydrophobic. Does that make
Find
sense?
out.
So let's grab this guy, fresh borderless. I got the liquid clay soap right here. I just want to get this wet.
clay soap, is that not a shampoo that you would use for like the main washing process then?
I probably wouldn't use it as a main washing process. Like I want to get the dirt, the loose dirt and grime off before I like do a clay. But maybe, I don't know. That's like part of learning about this, you know?
Part
And
of
I'd
testing it is trying using it in different ways and seeing what works best.
I probably would try it as my main car soap. I would probably avoid using it out of a foam cannon, but I could try it if I'm willing to like potentially ruin a foam cannon. So I'm just gonna rub this in like this. So I can see it's starting to suds up a little bit. So now we take it and we rub it on the surface.
Ken says, I'm getting comments from Alice watching the live so long and putting off the yard work.
Sorry, Alice.
Is that wife?
Yeah. Alice is awesome. She was willing to ride with Ken all the way to the Anaheim store and let him mess around with Adam and Anthony and myself. Yeah, you can see the suds. So like we know there's soap to it. It's gliding really good. So I like that. Definitely like that. But I'm more curious what it's gonna feel like when we're done. Okay. Perfect. Rinse. And actually, I might even use those detail sprays to like dry it off. Make sure I don't shoot that. Whoa, look at that. What? Look how flat the water just got, Chris.
It was gone.
Crazy. Very interesting. See, this is why I like doing stuff like this. Look at that, huh?
Wow.
Huh. There's not a film on there.
It's weird.
What I would love is if we had a towel. Maybe I'll just try to use, these towels are unused. I was gonna use these for total interior cleaner. What I don't wanna do is grab the borderless grays I used for detail spray already and put what's in detail spray on here. It will probably bead water. I'm just gonna use a regular towel to take this off. Oh, it's like sticky. It's like there's nothing on here.
I mean, that would make sense given the water behavior.
Yeah. And more what I want to do is feel it. What the surface feels like. Okay. That's pretty dry. I also am trying to see, like, you know, did it mar as well? That would be something that sucks, you know? It's like,
That would be an immediate
you do this like,
disqualifier.
yeah, you do this like clay process and it just mars worse than like doing the clay mitt type of thing. It looks like it marred like crazy. If I,
Really?
yeah, oh yeah. It could be just,
That was just damage that was already there.
no, it's definitely marred.
Wow.
It's very marred up here.
So this test isn't.
Not going fantastic.
Yeah, it's real marred, like bad. Like right here, it's where I started, it's the worst. And realistically, like what I would do on a second round of test of this product is I would polish this hood and then I would redo it and I'd feel it. But the reason,
then you could see the scratches that appear.
yeah, and it looks like to me, the marring is like, I started here and I kind of like went like this. And then when I stopped here and went this way and I did like these big swipes like this, most of the marring happened here because I kind of went like this and then I stopped here and went like this. And you can see a ton of marring right here. You can see a ton of marring like right here. And then like, I see these big marring swipes from my hand.
David Boyce says, Joe, why did the hydrophobic properties go away?
We apparently sanded the protection off with a new product called liquid clay bar soap.
So maybe
But again,
this-
so this is one thing I do want to say is like, if it does have, let's just, hypothetically, they put silt in it as the abrasive. Silt is not something that breaks down, right? Silt is just like super fine grained sand. So like if I use it, it's not gonna break down. And so like it should mar, theoretically, right? Because I'm just rubbing like really fine sand onto the surface. It's not actually like, you know, a clay bar is like, it's not necessarily like abrasive in the fact that it's gonna like scratch the surface. It might mar a little bit, but like,
Sticking distance.
yeah, it's like grabbing onto bonded contamination, like the paint overspray tree sap, and it's like pulling it off. Versus this was like, you can definitely see. Can you see the marring, Chris? So like here, I'll point to it. It's
an iPhone. It's
like right there. It's really, really bad.
it's a bit of a challenge to see in the iPhone, but oh yeah, I can kind of see it.
It like doesn't look like scratches. Like it looks like
Yeah.
the texture of the towel kind of.
And it almost kind of looks like overspray too. In
Yeah.
a way, it's weird. Yeah.
But it does feel nice and smooth. There's still some bonding contamination. Like here, for example, we clayed this, okay? So listen. You can't hear anything,
Nothing.
right? Now if I come over here, which we did liquid clay soap, now listen. You can still barely hear something, right? So like to me that says that clay is more effective than that. So like if it's me, just based off of that feeling, I'd be like not approved, because it's I can do the literally exact same thing with a clay mitt, and it's going to be more effective.
Without the marring.
Exactly. So it's
So-
like double whammy negative.
And this is why we test.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we found out that maybe this formulation of this product is not the best.
Good try, but like not perfect, you know?
Yep.
And we're
time to tweak it and see what the next version
yeah,
does.
and we're going for perfect. But I also think like part of it for me is like, does it help the process of the claying while washing already? Because we have a pretty good process to that already, which is wash the car, rinse it off, re-foam it, and then use the clay mitt, rinse it off, and you're done. So like right now, it's like, you know, I personally right now would not feel comfortable using that liquid clay soap in a bucket and doing a whole car, especially because even doing it like max concentration, it didn't even pull this stuff off, right? So yeah, there you go. Testing day at Adams Polishes. We got some more testing to do, but maybe I'll save Total Interior Cleaner for next week, and then maybe I'll show you. I'll try to fix this and show you guys so that we fixed it. And but anyways, I don't know. That stuff's kind of fun to me, especially like detail spray. Detail spray, undisputed champ for going on since I've worked here, going on 12 years. So detail spray is a pretty tough one to knock off the number one spot. So wheel cleaner, again, it was like saw minute differences, but like maybe not enough to like change that formula, right? So you know, sometimes the R&D process of testing isn't as exciting as, you know, sometimes we get products that we're like, like Total Interior Cleaner was one of those products that our old chemist came here to test something completely different, but he had brought this new formula of Total Interior Cleaner. And while they were all discussing something over there, I was trying Total Interior Cleaner in the car, and I was like, this is approved like right now. Like it was like, everyone was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And it was like, oh my God, this stuff's incredible. It works on touchscreens, it works on glass, it works on leather. It was like, dude, this makes the interior cleaning process a million times easier and more effective and more efficient. So it's like, boom, like that. It was approved like that, right? Sometimes it's like this, where you're like, you're almost trying to find something wrong with it, but like, you don't want to like overcommit. It's like our formulas are already really good. You guys know that. And so like, there has to be a distinct difference of what makes it better. So if I was going to say anything like for the wheel cleaning stuff, I'd be like, don't change it. It's fine right now, you know? So, so there you go. A little bit of testing day. Anytime I have some stuff like this and it's available, we can test together. Like I kind of like doing this stuff. So, you know, thank you guys for watching. I know it's a little bit longer, but I talk too much, so sorry. But thank you guys for all the questions, comments. I'll see you next week. I think last week you guys requested for us to wash Teddy's car, which is his dad's car, and he wasn't here today. So next week, since it's going to be 80 degrees, we'll probably do some washing stuff. So maybe I'll even show you guys the claying while washing process type thing. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week.